I paid for my sister's wedding venue as a present, and now my other sister, who can be incredibly entitled, is demanding I repeat that gesture for her. On top of everything, our parents have decided to label me as self-centered and uncooperative because I'm refusing. I'm a 32-year-old woman with two younger sisters, Michelle, 30, and Denise, 27. Unfortunately, Denise and I have never had the closest relationship, and we stopped speaking altogether for a couple of years following a tense confrontation during a Christmas party that I hosted 3 years ago. Back then, my mother was feeling unwell, so she asked me to host the family for Christmas. Being my first time putting together such a big gathering, I was determined to make it extraordinary. My husband and I spent days making sure every element was perfect, coordinating decorations, planning the menu, even rearranging our living room furniture to accommodate everyone comfortably. All that effort was paying off, as the relatives seemed happy when they arrived, and many of them even complimented our hard work. But Denise found a way to poke fun at every choice we made. She kept throwing out snide comments and making unpleasant jokes, nitpicking the decorations, the music, the food, basically everything. I don't recall her exact remarks, but I do remember my mounting annoyance. Eventually, I reached a breaking point and told her to either keep quiet or leave if she disliked our efforts so much. That escalated quickly. We got into a heated argument, and she stormed out in a huff. In the aftermath, Denise and I stopped talking. We'd sometimes run into each other at other family gatherings, but she would ignore me, and I would pretend she didn't exist. Our parents tried to patch things up several times over the years, but they rarely expected her to apologize. Instead, they insisted I be the bigger person because I was older. Their logic was that I ought to show maturity and overlook petty disagreements. However, Michelle sided with me, pointing out that Denise's behavior at the party had been shameful, and that anyone in my position would have reached a similar boiling point. Deep down, Michelle and I both understood that Denise was beyond spoiled, and our parents had facilitated her bad behavior since childhood. They favored her as the youngest and rarely disciplined her, even when she was blatantly rude or disrespectful in public. Meanwhile, Michelle and I had been raised differently. We learned to be well-behaved, faced consequences for our mistakes, and generally understood boundaries. Denise got a pass on everything. It was almost like she had been raised by completely different parents, ones who allowed her to get away with acting out at any time. Our attempts to include her and befriend her never went anywhere,